Hey guys, okay, we're going to do now the second part of Jack. So if you're with your book and you have it out, we're on page 168. It says back from winter break. So 168, back from winter break. I'm in my kitchen, or really the, I guess, breakfast room area. So if you hear anything, the dogs are right outside, and Colin and Cecilia are on either side of me doing some stuff too. So that's what's going on. Okay, back from winter break. Despite what Tushman said, there was no clean slate when I got back to school in January. In fact, things were totally weird from the second I got to my locker in the morning. I'm next to Amos, who always had been a pretty straight up kid, and when I was like, yo, what's up? He basically just nodded a half hello and closed his locker and left. I was like, okay, that was bizarre. And when I said, hey, what's up to Henry, who didn't even bother half smiling, I just looked away. Okay, so something's up. Just by two people in less than 5 minutes, not that anyone's counting, I thought I'd try one more time with Tristan. And boom, same thing. He actually looked nervous, like he was frightened to talk to me. I've got a form of the plague now, and it's what I thought. This is Julian payback. And that's pretty much how it went all morning. Nobody talked to me. Not true. The girls were totally normal with me, and August talked to me, of course. And actually, I have to say that both Maxes said hello, which made me feel kind of bad for never ever hanging out with them in like 5 years I'd been in their classes. I hoped lunch would be better, but it wasn't. I sat at my usual table with Luca and Isaiah. I guess I thought that they weren't super popular group, but they were kind of like middle of the road jock kids, that I'd be safe with them. But they barely nodded when I said hello. Then, when our table was called, they got their lunches and they never came back. I saw them find a table way over on the other end of the cafeteria. They weren't at Julian's table, but they were near him, like on the fringe of popularity. So anyway, I've been ditched. I knew table switching was sometimes happened in 5th grade, but I never thought it would happen to me. I felt really awful being at a table all by myself. I felt like everyone was watching me. It also made me feel like I had no friends. So I decided to skip lunch and go read in the library. I think here's your thing. The war. It was Charlotte who gave me the inside scoop on why everyone was dissing me. I found a note inside my locker at the end of the day. Meet me in room 301 right after school. Come by yourself. Charlotte. She was already inside the room when I walked in. Sup? I said. Hey, she said. She went over to the door, looked left, looked right, then closed the door and locked it from the inside. Then she looked to face me and started biting her nails like she wanted to talk. Look, I feel bad about what's going on, and I just wanted to tell you what I know. Promise you won't tell anyone I talk to you. Promise? So Julian had this huge holiday party over winter break. I mean, huge. My sister's friend had her sweet 16 at the same place last year, and there were like 200 people there. So, I mean, it's a huge place. Yeah, and? Yeah, and, well, pretty much everybody in the whole grade was there. Not everybody. Right, not everybody, duh. Like, even parents were there, Like, my parents were there. Julian's mom's the vice president of the school board, right? So she knows a lot of people. Anyway, so basically what happened at the party was that Julian went around telling everybody that you punched him because you had emotional problems. What? And that you would have gotten expelled, but his parents begged the school not to expel you. What? And that none of this would have happened in the first place if Tushman hadn't forced you to be friends with Augie. He said that his mom thinks that you, quote unquote, snapped under the pressure. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. No one bought that, right? I asked. She shrugged. That's not even the point. The point is, he's really popular, and, my mom heard that his mom is actually pushing the school to review Augie's application to Beecher. Can she do that? It's about Beecher not being an inclusion school. That's a type of school that mixes normal kids with special needs. That's just stupid. Augie doesn't have special needs. Yeah, but she's saying that if the school is changing the way they usually do things in some way, but they're not changing anything. Yeah, they did. Didn't you notice the theme of the New Year's art show? In the past, 5th graders painted self-portraits, but this year they made us do some ridiculous portraits of animals, remember? So, big freaking deal. I know. I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying what she's saying. I know. This is just so messed up. I know. Anyway, Julian says that he thinks being friends with Augie is bringing you down, and that for your own good, you need to stop hanging out with him so much. And if you start losing all your friends, it'll be a big wake-up call. So basically, for your own good, he's going to stop being your friends completely. Newsflash, said Jack. I stopped being his friends completely first. Yeah, said Charlotte, but he's convinced all the boys to stop being your friend. For your own good, that's why nobody's talking to you. You're talking to me. Yeah, well, this is more of a boy thing, she explained. The girls are staying neutral, except for Savannah's group, because they're going with Julian's group. But to everyone else, this is really a boy war. I nodded. She tilted her head to her side and pouted like she really felt sorry for me. It's okay that I told you this, she said. Yeah, of course. I don't care who talks to me or not, I lied. This is so dumb. She nodded. Hey, does Augie know any of this? Of course not. At least not from me. And Summer? I don't think she knows. Look, I better go. Just so you know, my mom thinks Julian's mom is a total idiot. She says she thinks people like her are more concerned about what other kids' class pictures look than doing the right thing. You heard about the Photoshop thing, right? Remember Julian's mom Photoshopped August out of the class pictures? Yeah, that was just sick. Totally, she nodded. Anyway, I better go. I just wanted you to know what was up and stuff. Thanks, Charlotte. I'll let you know if I hear anything else, she said. Before she went out, she looked left, she looked right, outside the door to make sure no one saw her leaving. I guess, even though she was neutral, she still didn't want to be seen with me. The next day at lunch, stupid me, I sat down at a table with Tristan, Nino, and Pablo. I thought maybe they were safe because they weren't really considered popular, but they weren't out there playing D&D at recess either. They were sort of in-betweeners. And at first, I thought I'd scored because they were basically too nice not to acknowledge my presence when I walked over to the table. They all said hey, though I could tell they looked at each other. But then the same thing happened that happened at lunch yesterday. Our table was called, they got their lunch, and they headed toward a new table on the other side of the cafeteria. Unfortunately, Mrs. G, who was the lunch lady that day, saw it happen and chased after them. No, that's not allowed, boys, she scolded them loudly. This is not that kind of school. You get back to your table. Oh, great, like that was going to help. Before they could be forced to sit back down at the table, I got up with my tray and walked away really fast. I could hear Miss G calling my name, but I pretended not to hear her and just kept walking to the other side of the cafeteria behind the lunch counter. Sit with us, Jack. It was Summer. She and August were sitting at their table, and they were both waving me over. Okay, I'm a total hypocrite. I know. That very first day of school, I remember seeing August in the cafeteria. Everyone was looking at him, talking about him. Back then, no one was used to his face, and no one even knew that he was coming to Beecher. So it was a total shock for a lot of people to see him there on the first day of school. Most kids were even afraid to get near him. So when I saw him go into the cafeteria ahead of me, I knew he was going to have no one to sit with. But I just couldn't bring myself to sit with him. I had been hanging out with him all morning long because we had so many classes together, and I guess I just kind of wanted a little normal time to chill with other kids. So when I saw him move to a table on the other side of the lunch counter, I purposely found the table as far away from him as I could find. I sat down with Isaiah and Luca, even though I'd never met them before, and we talked about baseball the whole time. I played baseball with them at recess. They became my lunchtime table from then on. I heard Summer had sat with August, which surprised me because I knew for a fact she wasn't one of the kids that Tushman had talked about with being friends with August. So I knew she was doing it just to be nice, which was pretty brave of her, I thought. So now, here I was, sitting with August and Summer, and they were being totally nice to me as always. I filled them in about the things Charlotte had told me, except for the whole big part about being snapped under pressure for being Augie's friend, or the part about Julian's mom saying that Augie had special needs, or the part about the school board. I guess all I really told them was how Julian had a holiday party and managed to turn the whole grade against me. It just feels weird, I said, to not have people talking to you and pretending you don't exist. Augie started smiling. "Ya think?" he said sarcastically. "Welcome to my world." "So here are the official sides," said Summer at lunch the next day. She pulled out a folded piece of loose leaf paper and opened the 3 columns of names. Jack's side. Jack, August, Reed, Max G, Max W. Julian's side. Miles, Henry, Amos, Simon, Tristan, Pablo, Nino, Isaiah, Luca, Jake, Tolan, Roman, Ben, Emmanuel, Zeke, and Thomas. And the neutrals, meaning they don't care either way. Malik, Ramos, Jose, Leif, Rame, Ivan, and Russell. "Where did you get this?" said Augie, looking over my shoulder as I read it. "Charlotte made it," Summer answered quickly. "She gave it to me last period. She said she thought you should know who was on your side, Jack." "Yeah, not that many people for sure," I said. "Reed is," she said, "and the 2 Maxes." "Great. The nerds are on my side." "Don't be mean," said Summer. "I think Charlotte likes you, by the way." "Yeah, I know. Are you going to ask her out?" "Are you kidding? I can't now that everybody's acting like I have the plague." The second I sat down, I realized I shouldn't have said that. There was this awkward moment of silence, and I looked at Augie. "It's okay," he said. "I knew about that." "Sorry, dude. I didn't know they called it the plague, though. I kind of figured it was more like cheese touch or something." "Oh, yeah, like the Diary of a Wimpy Kid," I nodded. "The plague actually sounds a lot cooler," he joked. "Like someone could catch the Black Death of ugliness," he said, and he made little air quotes. "I think it's awful," said Summer, but Augie shrugged while he was taking a big sip of his juice box. "Anyway, I'm not going to ask Charlotte out," I said. "My mom thinks we're all too young to date anyway." "What if Reed asked you out?" I said. "Would you go?" I could tell she was surprised. "No," she said. "I'm just asking." I laughed. She shook her head and smiled. "Why? Do you know something?" "Nothing. I'm just asking," I said. "I actually agree with my mom," said Summer. I do think we're too young to date. I mean, I just don't see what the rush is." "Yeah, I totally agree," said August. "Which is kind of a shame, with all those babes who keep throwing themselves at me and stuff." He said this with such a funny way that the milk I was drinking came out of my nose when I laughed, which made us totally crack up. It was already the middle of January, and we still hadn't even chosen what science fair project we were going to work on. I guess I kept putting it off because I just didn't know what to do. Finally, August was like, "Dude, we have to do this." So we went to his house after school. I was really nervous because I didn't know if August had ever told his parents about what I had called about what we now call the Halloween incident. Turns out his dad wasn't even home and the mom was out running errands. I'm pretty sure that for like 2 seconds, I'd spent talking to her that Augie had never mentioned a thing about it. She was super cool and friendly toward me. When I first walked into Augie's room, I was like, whoa, Augie, you have a serious Star Wars addiction. He had ledges full of Star Wars miniatures and a huge The Empire Strikes Back poster on his wall. I know, right? He laughed. He sat down on a rolling chair next to his desk, and I plopped down on a beanbag chair in the corner. That's when his dog waddled into the room right up to me. He was on your holiday card, I said, letting the dog sniff my hand. She, he corrected. Daisy, you can pet her. She doesn't bite. When I started petting her, she basically just rolled over onto her back. She wants you to rub her tummy, said August. Oh, this is the cutest dog I've ever seen, I said, rubbing her stomach. I know, right? She's the best dog in the world. Aren't you, girly? As soon as she heard Augie's voice say that, the dog started wagging her tail and went over to him. Who's my little girly? Who's my little girly? August was saying as she licked him all over the face. I wish I had a dog, I said. My parents think our apartment's too small. I started looking at all the stuff in his room while he turned on the computer. Hey, you got an Xbox 360? Can we play? Dude, we're here to work on our science fair project. Do you have Halo? Of course I have Halo. Please, can we play? We had logged on to the Beecher website and now scrolling down Mrs. Rubin's teacher page through the list of science fair projects. Can you see from there, he said. I sighed and went to the site for the little stool that was sitting next to him. Cool iMac, I said. What kind of computer do you have? Dude, I don't even have my own room, much less my own computer. My parents had this ancient Dell, which is practically dead. Okay, how about this one, he said, turning the screen in my direction. So I would look. I made a quick scan of the screen and my eyes literally started blurring. Making a sun clock? Well, that sounds kind of cool. I leaned back. Can't we just make a volcano? Everyone makes volcanoes, said Augie. Dude, that's because it's easy, I said. I was petting Daisy again. What about how to make crystal spikes out of Epsom salt? Oh, sounds boring, I answered. So why do you call her Daisy? He didn't look up from the screen. My sister named her. I wanted to call her Darth. Actually, technically speaking, her full name is Darth Daisy. But we never really call her that. Darth Daisy, that's funny. Hi, Darth Daisy, I said to the dog, who rolled back over on her tummy to rub. Okay, this is the one, said Augie, pointing to a picture of the screen. How to build an organic battery made of potatoes. Now that's cool. It says here you can power a lamp with it. We could call it the Spud lamp or something. What do you think? Dude, that sounds way too hard. You know I suck at science. Shut up, you do not. Yeah, I do. I got a 54 on my last test. I suck at science. No, you do not. And that was only because we were still fighting and I wasn't there to help you. I can help you now. This is a good project, Jack. We've got it. Fine, whatever, I shrugged. Just then there was a knock at the door. A teenage girl with dark, wavy hair poked her head inside the door. She wasn't expecting to see me. Oh, hey, she said to both of us. Hey, Via, said August, looking back at the computer screen. Via, this is Jack. Jack, this is Via. Hey, she said, looking at me carefully. I knew the second Augie said my name that he had told her about this stuff I had said about him. I could tell from the way she looked at me. In fact, the way she looked at me made me think she remembered me from those long days ago at Carvel on Amsterdam Avenue all those years ago. Augie, I have a friend I want you to meet, okay? He's coming over in a few minutes. Is he your new boyfriend? Augie teased. Via kicked the bottom of his chair. Just be nice, and she left the room. Dude, your sister's hot, I said. I know. She hates me, right? You told her about the Halloween incident? Yeah. Yeah, she hates me. Oh, or, yeah, you told her about the Halloween incident. Oh, both. 2 minutes later, the sister came back with a guy named Justin. Seems like a cool enough dude. Longish hair, little round glasses. He was carrying a long, shiny silver case that ended up being a sharp point at the other end. Justin, this is my little brother August, said Via. And this is Jack. Hey guys, said Justin, shaking her hands. He seemed a little nervous. I guess maybe because he was meeting August for the first time. Sometimes I forget at shock that it is meeting him. Cool room. Are you Via's boyfriend? August asked mischievously, and his sister pulled his cap down over his face. What's in your case? I asked. A machine gun? Ha, said the boyfriend. That's funny. No, it's, fiddle? Justin's a fiddler, said Via. He's in a Zydeco band. What the heck's a Zydeco band? Said Augie, looking at me. It's a type of music, said Justin, like Creole music. What's Creole? I said. You should tell people it's a machine gun, said Augie. Nobody'll ever mess with you. Huh, I guess you're right, Justin said, nodding and tucking his ears behind his hair behind his ears. Creole's the kind of music they play in Louisiana. Are you from Louisiana? I asked. No, he said. I'm from Brooklyn. I don't know why that made me laugh. Come on, Justin, said Via. Let's go hang out in my room. Okay, see you guys later. Bye, he said. Bye. As soon as we left the room, Augie looked at me and smiled. I'm from Brooklyn, I said, and we both started laughing hysterically. Okay, so normally I would play you Zydeco music at this point. I don't have any Zydeco music right now. So what we will do, if you look up Zydeco music, that would be awesome. Or I will try and put a link of some Zydeco music underneath this one. Okay? I'll see you later.